Hi everyone, welcome to my virtual presentation. I'm Katherine Levy and I have created this presentation to help you better understand the 5-step process known as the PSA and how you can use it to better your own writing. I will teach you about this process by showing you how I applied it to my professional website assignment from my technical writing course this semester. We were required to create a website centered around a profession of our choice. I chose dancing, so let's get started. First things first, PSA stands for Problem Solving Approach. You will hear me refer to this process as such throughout my presentation. This process is one that helps solve workplace problems by using communication. It focuses on the whole writing process from the planning stages all the way to distributing the document. The problem-solving approach makes composing a workplace document more manageable because it helps writers approach the document in sections rather than thinking about the document all at one time. The 5 steps of the PSA are plan, research, draft, review, and distribute. Planning is when you determine what you are writing and your reason for doing so. Researching is when you determine what information is needed, then obtain the information. Drafting is when you compose the initial draft of the document. Reviewing is when you test the usability of the document and seek advice from your peers. Distributing is when you get the document to the intended audience. The first step of the PSA is to plan. This is when you determine what you are writing and your reason for doing so, consider the document format, and the delivery method. First, I needed to determine my reason for writing. I knew I wanted to market myself in the professional dance industry and create a virtual headshot. You can see how I chose to do so in the picture included at the bottom of this slide. Next, I needed to choose the technology best suited for this. Besides it being required for the assignment, I chose a website because it is convenient, accessible, and still professional. The second step of the PSA is to research. This is when you conduct research and obtain information. First, I determined what information was necessary for our specific assignment, which was about, resources, showcase, and tips. This is when referring to a rubric or any set of guidelines that you have is very helpful. Next, I needed to collect and organize the information that was required. And finally, I explored other dancers' websites to get an idea of what types of things work and which do not. The third step of the PSA is to draft. This is the point in which you actually start composing your document and mapping out where you want the necessary content. During this stage, I had to determine the order of importance within my topics. In other words, which page should be presented first and which should be presented last. You can see the order I chose in the image on the top of this slide. Next, I had to arrange the best visuals that would represent me and my talents. You can see this in the image on the lower part of the slide. The fourth step of the PSA is to review. Reviewing requires testing the usability of the document, which I did by exposing other dancers to my site to observe how my audience would navigate and respond to it. Also in this stage, peers can be of a lot of help. 2 peers from my technical writing peer review group gave me really good suggestions using their experience and knowledge from our course. Finally, I applied the best suggestions and corrections to my document. The last step of the PSA is to distribute. This is when you get the document to the intended audience and ensure that it was received correctly. In order to get the word out about my document, I made my site public so anyone could see it. I sent it to my dance agency so they could distribute it when needed to potential casting directors or choreographers. And finally, I saved the link on my phone so I could always have it at my disposal to send or show it to potential employers. Using the PSA successfully helped me establish a process to create a professional website. It helped me to be so much less overwhelmed in tackling the assignment in parts rather than all at once. The pre-planning stages of the PSA also helped me to be better prepared once it came time to start drafting. Finally, using the problem-solving approach helped me to produce a much better, more professional final document. Using the PSA has taught me a lot about myself as a writer. I have a tendency to ramble and often find it difficult to remain concise. By working with my audience and receiving feedback from them, I have learned that most times, less is more. Additionally, I have learned that I hate the planning process, but I have seen how much it truly helps to produce a better final document. Last, I have learned that I am very meticulous when it comes to my writing, which could be good, but also a fault. In addition to teaching me about myself as a writer, the PSA has taught me a lot about effective communication. Effective communication is being clear when you speak, preparing before you begin communicating, meeting the needs of the audience, which I have learned is one of the most important parts of effective communication. It is also keeping the audience engaged throughout the entire process, and finally, ensuring that what you are communicating is actually being understood by the audience. To conclude, the problem-solving approach is a process that helps you solve workplace problems by using communication. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, but more importantly, were able to learn something that you can now take and apply to your own technical writing. Feel free to visit my website included in the link below to learn more about me and how I applied the PSA to this assignment. Thank you for watching!